Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Popcorn Watchlist podcast, where we discuss and celebrate our favorites in TV and film. I'm your host, Xavier, and today we'll be discussing the next listed movie in our Popcorn Watchlist recommended series. Join with me are the usuals. I got the guys here. Say hello, everybody. Danny.
What's up?
Got Zach. I'm going to mix it up and get the second one.
Ooh, number 2. Howdy.
And rounding out the round table, you got Anthony.
Hello there.
And
General Kenobi.
I ended it with Anthony because he was the one who gave us the recommendation for the movie that we were going to be speaking about. Can you give us a quick little reminder of what we're speaking about today?
Baby Driver.
Baby. Yeah. Baby Driver. So last time that we brought up our recommendation, Anthony, we were kind of on this Edgar Wright kick. Zach had given us one of the best movies in Hot Fuzz, and Anthony decided, hey, let's go on another Edgar Wright let's take another Edgar Wright movie out for a spin in a funny little car pun in bringing up Baby Driver. So this movie came out in 2017, and it honestly, I don't know how I would describe it as in terms of just where the movie kind of came out from. People say oh, it's an Edgar Wright movie. I guess I see what's going on, and it got a lot of people hooked by just the awesome stunts that they did with the cars. So a lot of real practical driving stunts, but then they got to see more of Edgar Wright's charm and style that he likes to infuse in all his movies. So everything that kind of goes with the cinematography, almost to its own soundtrack, and it's almost like he made a movie just about that. And it's honestly, it's a marvel to behold. I think the movie is really fun. It is a movie that got a lot of critical acclaim when it came out because of the editing. The editing of the movie is top notch. It stands out as some of the best. It lines up, flows extremely well, and I think, and just to kind of really talk more about it, I kind of want to bring Danny and Zach into the fold here for the kind of the recap and conversation of the movie, because you guys had never seen it before.
Yeah, I'd never seen it before. But I was well aware of the movie and had seen maybe clips on it on YouTube for top 10 stuff, but never really seen it in full.
Top 10 of what?
Top 10, I don't even know, top 10 action scenes in movies, or top 10 attention to detailed stuff. I don't know. I don't remember exactly what they're like those Watch Mojo videos.
Welcome to Watch Mojo.
Look at these top 10 of, red cars driving through Atlanta.
Just watching stuff like that, and I think one of the more interesting ones was, if you listen with headphones, you get wherever Baby has one headphone in, you hear the music from that one. I don't know, it was kind of
that's
weird.
Pretty cool.
Now, I did watch the movie with headphones, but I didn't notice that, so I wasn't sure if that was an actual fact.
So what you're saying is they lied.
Probably.
That's just hype. It's just Baby Driver hype, which in the end I'm all for.
Or unless maybe it was just because of the audio setup. Maybe it just wasn't set up the proper way, but it was still a fantastic movie to watch. Regardless, the music was killer.
Yeah, the music and the soundtrack that's used in the movie really gave me songs that I kind of know, just every once in a while we'll go back and listen to. So
just have them on loop.
You have obviously the Bell Bottoms by John Spencer group that plays in the whole beginning sequence, that plays for almost the entirety of the song from beginning to end. They cut and shot this entire getaway sequence that Baby drives for this crew that just did a bank heist, and it's so well done. And you're this is in downtown, basically downtown Atlanta. They're driving through stuff. He's just putting this Subaru WRX through the ringer and just showing off all these crazy tricks. It's so good.
Especially that one scene I've seen on YouTube a lot, where they discuss it. It's where he's in the alleyway and then a truck is coming, or a truck is pulling out, and it
he does this real 180 and
swerve,
swerve. Because I think I have seen that clip before, and I think it was a video where they were talking about is it CG or is it practical?
Yeah, I think it was probably the same video.
It was a mix of both.
The 180 degree 180 turn,
like a handbrake, and then back.
and then a reverse back in. Yeah, it's car wizardry. I think that kind of really scratched the Fast and Furious itch that a lot of people had before these cars just started going into space and doing other superhero stuff that kind of doesn't make sense for a car. But so seeing some really cool driving, I think really stuck out to a lot of people when this movie came out. This is really, really cool. I knew a lot of gearheads that watched this movie like, oh, this movie's awesome. Like, I love this movie. And, for all the reasons we just talked about, they loved it a lot.
Which is funny because it's not really a car movie because
Correct. But
it's just like maybe the one Subaru that's like a standout car, and then all the other cars are pretty
just
basic
whatever
cars.
And he uses different cars in each scene,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
It's just the opening scene is like the main.
Yeah, and everyone loves Subarus.
Car.
If you're a car guy, you probably love Subarus.
Yeah, or you can appreciate the Subarus
Yeah.
for their particular drivetrain and how they kind of get that stuff done there. I know, Danny. What did you think?
So, I had mentioned to you guys before that I had seen like pieces of this movie, like clips and like I knew about it, like Zach said, but I had never seen it all the way through. And yeah, this is an amazing movie.
So what you're saying is this is a movie that you'd see like playing on like TNT, like in the middle of
Yeah,
it.
like
And
it
you're
would
like,
be
oh, this
on
is
TV
cool. Here's
or,
some
like-
couple clips, and then like, oh look, it's
Maybe
back
like
again. But here's
a
the
family
beginning.
member was watching it, and then I would like pop in and be like, oh, okay.
And then you finally have to turn around like, wait a minute, and you get around to finally watching the whole movie. You're like,
Yeah.
yo, this movie's awesome.
Like, why did it take me so long to watch it?
I mean, when I watched that, I wasn't expecting like a somewhat heist kind of plot to it.
Mm-hmm.
Like I thought maybe there was some kind of action to it. I knew that for sure, but I wasn't sure what it was.
Baby Driver
That was
is a
about
driver.
Babies that drove cars. like the sequel to Baby Geniuses.
or
But they
this-
drive.
or it's like a live action Boss Baby that actually learned how to drive.
That would have been cool.
No, Ansel Elgort has nothing to do with that. Good for him. But yeah, guys, you were talking about the opening sequence, how amazing it's cut and shot, and how it was done practically. But what were some of your other favorite moments?
Well, I think we were talking about it earlier. The whole like skit between like the Michael Myers mask and
This was the second
the second
second
heist.
job. Yeah, second
Yeah.
heist that they have to do.
It's the one where Jamie Foxx's character comes in, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we get to meet the three new guys
And
and
Flea.
Flea. And,
Flea.
Just Flea, just
just-
randomly thrown in there. I think the only thing that I had seen him before was when we watched Back to the Future, and he was in part 2 and 3.
Yeah, he was
Dude, he's gonna. Isn't he?
Marty
gonna-
McFly's boss.
Isn't he in Babylon?
or coworker.
Is he in
Coworker or
Ba-
boss.
He's his coworker. That's Needles.
Yeah.
Isn't he also in God, what's this movie? Was it like did it recently go out? Was it Babylon or is he going to be in Oppenheimer?
I don't know,
think he's in
but he was
Babylon.
in Kenobi.
Yeah, he was in Kenobi.
Oh,
that's right.
true. Okay, that was the most recent. No,
Yep.
I don't even know what I watched first. It was Back to the Future of that, but I do remember him
Kenobi was
being-
last year.
and then Back to the Future
call
was
him Bats.
sometime since then.
You have to go.
Yeah, he
back
was-
to the future to remember.
I do. It was Babylon. He was in Babylon, and he was in Toy Story 4. Randomly, it's like Flea is just like a great basis, but just
he's like
randomly
he's randomly friends with everybody, but I think it's also because it's like I think his dad or someone else in the family is like really connected in Hollywood. So it's
Yeah, I
definitely able
think
to
I think his family
get
that's
in
like
there.
they're like producers or something,
Yeah.
or something in that realm in films. For those who don't know, Flea from Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't know,
One of the
man.
best bassists in the entire world. Yeah, he's
That
ran in this
dude
movie
can
for a little
slap.
bit.
That dude can slap.
Slap
it.
A slap at the face.
Slap a da bass, man. But yeah, this movie, yeah, he's talking about it's like, it's a Mike Myers. This is Mike Myers. No, it's a Halloween mask. This is a Halloween mask. No, the killer from Halloween. You mean Jason? No. God.
This is Mike Myers.
the way he said it,
He's like Michael Myers.
like with the mask like flapping, like
Oh my god,
Oh
the
my God.
Austin
It's all
Powers.
like, no, yeah, they're
masks.
Austin Powers masks, and then like they're getting to that like armored car, and they're just like shooting it out with a shotgun, and it's like a droopy, weird Austin Powers mask.
like too big for.
You know what? The other sequence I actually love is it's after the car chase and everything. He's walking down the street.
The one shot.
Yeah, that whole sequence, like it has like little like sound effects in the background, like some stuff onomatopoeia is actually spray painted on the wall.
The lyrics of the song.
Yeah, and
the lyrics of the song, like almost like everything he walks by, there's either like spray paint on the wall with the next line of the song, or like you said, like
random. Was it Harlem Shuffle or Egyptian Reggae? I don't remember which one it was.
It might have been Harlem Shuffle. Yeah, but that scene is cool.
Yeah,
and I think it's a true one take because like he did the same thing in Shaun of the Dead when Sean went to the convenience store. It was like the same type of sequence. So
it reminded me of that type of.
Yep. And it's cool to see a director really evolve and change, but still adapt that type of like style to other movies that he builds upon it. And you just start seeing like, man, like you see the real appreciation for it, especially like after you guys, especially Danny, had never seen Hot Fuzz before, and then not Shaun of the Dead, and so then you see something like Baby Driver, you're like, oh, cool, this is a refinement of all those other fun things, whether if it's sight gags or if it's a blending of practical like action comedy, but with great music and it tying all together while still adding benefit to the story and not just done for like because I can. Like there's actually a meaning to it all. Another favorite scene is after the heist that goes bad and he ends up turning on bats and the whole thing kind of goes to hell. And he has the whole chase scene while they're playing Hocus Pocus.
The USPS heist scene. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Where he's running away on foot, and every like beat to that song or like every.
Oh, the one at the end of the movie.
Yeah, well, not the ultimate end one, but the one where he's running away on foot.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Buddy and what's her name are like
Darling.
They get caught in like in the shootout too, but like all the shots are in line with all the guitar riffs of the song, and every time they get to the yodel part, it's like a transition from one part of the chase into another where he's trying to hide, and then you get to like the weird like scat part, and I had never known that song existed until this movie. It's some crazy like weird progressive rock song from the 70s. And like I remember reading an interview, Edgar Wright was talking about the song, how he'd always wanted to put it in a movie because he realized like how did they put a song with some guy doing like weird like it's almost like country scat, like weird like pig Latin noises, and then they put like a jazz flute in there. But there's an actual like flute solo in the middle of the song, and then there's like just some other, and then there's yodeling like in the bridges between the main like chorus of the song, which is just the guitar riff.
I never noticed the yodeling. I was
so
focused.
I did. I was like, this is insane. And
I was so focused on like the action that was going on.
He's running away from all the guards and the cops, and then like when the shots are going through, and then you see like oh man, it just culminates in a whole bunch of amazing stuff going on.
Speaking of that scene, I don't know if you guys noticed it. I definitely only noticed it after the first time I watched the movie. That. In an earlier scene at the beginning of the movie when they first show Baby in his apartment with his foster dad and he's just like randomly sifting through the channels, similar to Shaun of the Dead, how there's a scene when Sean's watching TV and every time he would change the channel, what they would say on TV was like something that was going to happen in the future.
Yep.
And the same thing happened this way. So
yes, they did.
They would show Monsters Inc. and he was constantly saying lines of Monsters Inc.
The line.
And then also there's a
stop quoting Monsters Inc.
Yeah.
What was it? My nephew loves that movie.
Yeah. And then there was
Kevin Spacey's
there was another thing that Baby flipped to, and it said like, oh, well, he's no longer going to need a horse now, so he's going to run the rest like on foot. So I was like foreshadowing that scene at the end of the movie. So so it's like another little like cool staple that he likes to put in his movies.
Here's an outline of my entire movie. Like I'm so confident that the movie is still going to be amazing, despite you are going to be giving clues as to what's exactly going to happen.
Yeah, just like with like Shaun of the Dead, the pub scene. Not just like the TV stuff, but the pub scene itself, where Nick Frost's character just like says the basic plot of the movie.
Yeah, or like Hot Fuzz, where everything is just everything is the complete foreshadowing of everything of the entire culmination of what is laid out towards like the beginning of when he first gets to Sanford. But yeah, this movie just again is shot really well. It's really well acted, like all the supporting actors. So you have Lily James.
Yes.
Cinderella.
Yeah, Lily James. Wait. Yeah. Lily James or Lily Collins? No,
James.
Lily James.
Lily James.
Yeah.
As Deborah.
Who's the one in Emily in Paris?
Lily Collins.
Lily Collins? Oh, that's okay. That's why. It's the Lilies get confused. Which one is Lily Collins? Is Phil Collins' daughter, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it. Lily James, I just remember is okay. That's the one. That my differentiating factor is like Lily James is Baby
Phil
Driver.
James.
Phil James. James Collins.
Lily and James Potter? No.
No.
Oh no.
He's
Crossed
all
the
up-
streams.
Yeah,
Oh, no.
yeah, he crossed the
Oh,
streams.
no.
That's untangling. Speaking of untangling, I was always surprised that Baby's headphones were never like 100% jacked up and like in 2 balls of knots.
Yeah.
That's because he was using like the first generation ones that like
Like
were
the
so
thick
like
ones.
stiff that like I don't.
Oh, because he had the little like.
yeah.
No, he put-
No, because like the silicone is like a stiffer.
the actual
silicone.
material on
It
the
is
outside was
stiffer.
something that was tougher than before.
Yeah, because everyone
And
has
with all
had that problem.
different versions that he had, he probably had 10 versions of those headphones.
And he had like a bunch of iPods.
Yeah, he had
He
at
had
least
so
like
many.
For different moods.
5 of them.
Yeah,
There's different cases
for different
on them.
cases, and then he had also like within the
pink.
iPods, he would then go and shuffle them up to having different
Yeah.
songs.
Or like different playlists.
Yeah, I liked, and what was really cool is as you go further into the movie, like how he's so built into the music, and like music is his escape because of his tinnitus.
Correct.
I think that it's as like
Yeah,
as
it's a
someone who
big
you
part
know.
of it.
I take my hearing for granted and just like, oh, I just listen to all this music, all these songs and these sounds. Like, it's all great. It's like watching that, and then later in the future, after Anthony and I watched Baby Driver in the theater, like, you know, down the road we saw Sound of Metal, and then it's one of those things again, like, man, you take your hearing for granted a little bit. But it's cool because then you get a character like this who finds appreciation in the music and is able to do some incredible things with alongside the music because their life truly has a soundtrack.
You just mentioned something and it reminded me of the scene where he stole the car from the
Charger, yeah.
the older lady and
Oh no, not the
No.
Charger. That was that douchebag dude. Yeah.
he,
like, "Oh,
he stole
my
the car
purse."
from the old lady and he's just there like taking a minute to find the song or find a song that he likes on the radio. I thought that was
And she's just looking at him
Turn up
like,
beat.
She's like, what? Like, I'm getting
Wait, this is-
carjacked, but what is this guy doing?
Yeah.
He did the same during the heist with the masks.
Yeah.
Where he was like, wait, don't get out of the car yet.
Wait,
no.
And then Jimmy
let me
Fox
play
is
the
like,
song
are you
again.
serious?
No, he's
Yeah.
Oh, he's like, yeah, I gotta
he's
rewind it.
he
He started it
backed
too
up.
early.
Yeah, he's like, no, I gotta return it. And that's great.
And
Like,
then he waited, it dropped, and he's like, okay, go.
He's like, yeah.
that reminds me
Gotta
of
go
the
with the
gym
beat.
where you're like, wait, the beat's about to drop, or the cool part's about to happen. I have to rewind it, and then you get pumped up for the right occasion. Happens to me also when we're driving. That's what's cool. It's like a heightened version of that.
Well, in that scene, like the guy that was in the pickup truck that had the gun,
Yeah.
That was
I don't know if he
insane,
was I don't know if he was like a
He's probably like an
officer
undercover cop or
something.
something.
I mean,
To
he
have
was-
those weapons in
He's
his car.
Georgia. No, he's just
No,
He
it
was
probably
just
just
relentless.
like a
some random
retired
guy.
like
Yeah, retired veteran.
And like
He was. I mean, he didn't give up. He was
Machine
relentless.
gun in
He was
his
No,
car.
he
he was all in.
He was
He
like,
went after
I'm
him.
in this.
up until his car just
Just flipped,
just flipped
like-
over. That was it. He was done.
He didn't die though. They
didn't
showed
die.
him later on the news in
Yeah.
the hospital.
Yeah,
That's
he's
right.
just like, I don't know. Yeah.
They were wearing masks. So, like
But it's funny because like they're all wearing masks and like baby's just like
I
He
don't
has, he
care.
has his
Whatever.
sunglasses.
No one
His-
can see me.
He has his Wayfarers on. That's it.
Too cool. So remember, guys, if you have anyone listening, just a decent pair of shades, complete identity
headphones.
blocker. And then even like later on, they wanted to wear those masks that like did the
Reflect
scramble,
the
that
light.
did the reflect light.
Yeah.
Yeah, so they can't like do facial recognition. So
as X just did the motion of you can't see me.
Beep, 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 beep. I mean, it's probably in the movie too. Someone just gets attitude adjustment. No, the attitude adjustment that happened was Bats because he just was hurting too many innocent bystanders for Baby to stand by.
Wow.
Yeah, man, dude was actually was the joke with Bats? It's like, oh, because he's batshit crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
It's cool how everyone had like a nickname.
Griff. What was it, Griff? He's like, you don't see me tomorrow. It's because I'm dead.
Yeah.
I was like, damn, that sucks.
And we don't see him.
Yeah, we don't see him, so it's implied he's hella dead.
And the guy
Punisher.
from the
Yeah.
from
That's
the
John
second
Boyega.
crew, I forget what his name was. But the way that Kevin Spacey,
his name was Hat.
Oh, that's right. It was
Because
Hat.
He had
hate.
he had hate on his neck tattooed, and he's like, oh, but I had to remove the E so I could
So you
find
get
better
jobs.
jobs. Like he made a sideways heart out
So-
of the E.
the way that what's his name, Doc, I guess.
Kevin Spacey's
character.
Doc,
Yeah.
The way he introduced Hat was he's Asian. Or he puts the Asian in Home Invasion, which was I had to pause the movie to laugh out loud because of how ridiculous.
He had one of those for like every one of the members, and it was just great for all of them.
I didn't notice but that was the one that stood out to me the most.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait, did he really? And I had to back up just to see what he said so I can write it down to say it for the podcast. But man, it was hilarious.
Yeah.
Good.
You know, it was also like low key really great. John Hamm.
Yeah,
John Hamm
was awesome.
Like,
It was great to see him.
He was like the
Everyone in this
secondary
movie was
villain
great.
in this.
John
Yeah.
Hamm, John Bernthal.
I mean,
Jamie
he ended up
Foxx.
secondary turned into primary villain at the end. Like he ended up being sort of like the primary antagonist. But that was cool because he was the one in the beginning that asked Baby what his killer track was.
Oh,
And I remember watching the movie, and I know
That's coming back.
obviously because Edgar Wright's British, so they got a lot of Queen out there. But like hearing a song. He's like, oh, Brighton Rock by Queen. And even I had the same reaction to the character. I was like, what? But then Buddy, I think, talked like, oh, is that the one that, that Brian May wrote while he was sick with the flu? And I was like, that's a real thing? And then I looked it up. That's the opener of the album Sheer Heart Attack. It's the same album that Killer Queen is on.
Nice.
That, he wrote that song last, or they did that song close to last because he got really sick with a really bad flu. He's like, oh, for a split second, I thought I was going to die. Like, I'm paraphrasing, but like it was really bad. So, like, he basically got better and started playing, and he played his ass off through that whole solo. I don't know if you guys anyone has ever heard the whole song, but
No, I actually never heard of it.
that song is awesome. Like, it gets to a whole point where, like, he's doing a guitar solo, the drums accompanying, and then at a certain point, they just stop. Like, the drums, the drummers just stops. It's like, all right, cool, just Brian, go nuts. And then that's where you get this whole, like, crazy solo, and like the way it's used in the movie, especially as it's becoming like the big climax of the whole conflict the final car fight between Baby and Buddy, while he's trying to just kind of run away, and because he's now on the run because they kind of know who he is, so he's trying to run away with Deborah, and it's that whole like kind of creepy stalker thing because he's using I think he's using a cop car, right?
Yeah, with the lights.
He's using a cop car with the lights, and like he has like, "Hey baby, it's your killer track," and he plays it through the through the microphone. And I was like, man, this is creepy.
That's after he ran over Kevin Spacey.
Oh, he ran like
Yeah.
ran over twice. Yeah, like
He
that dummy double died. Like it was rough. I was like,
he like triple died. He got shot, and then he got hit. And
He
then
got
hit
shot
again.
by the other dudes. I guess the cops that he was working with.
Yeah.
They came back, and then he's like, "Oh, I gotta shoot them now."
yep. He's just like pop. I was like, all right, you gotta go.
Somehow they were still alive. I don't know how they
Yeah.
survived the shootout that they had earlier, but
True.
They did.
And then John Hamm crashed into like the wall and then
Through the
backed
elevator,
up.
yeah.
And then like
Yeah, and then got him again. I was like, oof. I remember Anthony and I were in the theater. We had that same reaction. Like, ooh.
he
Damn.
got canceled in this movie. Oof.
Before he got canceled.
Yeah, it was like right before. It was
Like 2 years before?
no.
It was a
I think
year
it was
before.
like not even a year. I think it was like a couple months after this movie came out.
the
Then people started
and then
going away from Kevin Spacey.
like how you mentioned earlier, Xavier, about the whole like him with music and hearing. John Hamm just goes and just shoots like on the side of each ear.
Oh man, that was such a
rough.
dick move. That was rough. But again, it showed us like, man, this guy's lost everything, so I'm gonna try to now take it out on this guy. It's like, oh, it's his fault for botching the job and all this stuff, and he just wanted to have just hang out and have a life with poor Deborah.
Just drive and
two
listen to
Deborahs.
music.
He had two Deborah songs for her. You had the Deborah by Beck, and then you had Deborah by Trex.
And
She's
obviously,
like-
there's a bunch of baby songs.
She's like, "You mean T-Rex?" And he's like, "Trex? No, T-Rex." Yeah, Ansel Elgort, good job, man. And yeah, there are a lot of like references to baby. Yeah, just like in general, some type of baby. There's a Simon and Garfunkel Baby Driver song, and if you go through the whole soundtrack, I've said it once, I've said it many times over.
Wait, was that the song
The
they put at the
soundtrack
end of
is-
the movie?
Yes.
yes.
The Simon
yes,
and
it was.
Garfunkel one?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Nice. Simon and Garfunkel have great music.
B-A-B-Y, baby.
B-A-B-Y, Carl Thomas. Like Edgar Wright always knows. I don't know if it's like just from the top of his head. If he has like a consulting, like crew, kind of like how we are here at the Popcorn Watchlist. Like we just like there's a collective knowledge base of just, hey, this song would go perfect here, or something that just sticks with him.
There are websites where you can pretty much like maybe find songs that have certain lyrics that relate to, like, if you want to put into a movie, or you can always edit the movie or write the movie in a way that fits the song, whichever way you want to do it. I'm sure there's like some internet research
process.
Yeah, like I'm sure no one just has it. Oh yeah, there's a song that goes like this. It sounds a lot like what you're looking for. I think they have like just go on the internet and find certain like using certain words and stuff to look for the right song to use.
Nice. Yeah, that's fun. That seems like something I'd have to try out.
I just looked up the soundtrack to the movie, and we got 30 songs.
Yeah,
there were that many?
Yeah, there were a lot.
Yeah, because there were some moments where they only played
just
snippets of the songs.
Yeah,
and what I liked was there were a few songs that he
Tequila.
Picked. Yeah, Tequila.
Yeah, that was like a 10-second snippet, man.
Yeah.
No, that was Tequila was throughout the whole shootout when they were trying to get the guns.
Yes,
from the
that's right.
crooked cops.
Yeah, because he was listening to it when they rolled up.
That's right.
He was listening to his Looney Tunes.
Yeah. That is absolutely right.
He's listening just like his tunes.
Listen to his you listen to your Looney Tunes?
Oh my God.
You get it, guys? Looney Tunes? Nah, there are a lot of really fun and smart moments like that in this movie. I mean, it's really cool seeing U2's reaction, especially for a movie I remember seeing for the first time. I was like, man, this one was really good. I don't know if there's any other like fun, lasting tidbits or anything else, maybe Anthony, that you may want to share, since this was your recommendation after all.
Yeah, overall, I think this movie is fantastic. It's like I didn't know what to expect. I was just like excited because at that point I liked everything I saw from Edgar Wright. So it was like the Cornetto trilogy and then Scott Pilgrim. I was like, bring it on. I don't care. I don't care what this guy does.
Back to back.
He has a blank check.
I was so excited to see his version of Ant-Man, and it never happened. So I was like, oh,
I'm hoping the MCU might consider, or like Marvel would consider bringing him.
The thing is, I don't think he would want to come back because because of that whole thing. It's just he would want to make his own thing, and Marvel is the boss. Kevin Feige is like, no, you have to make my movie. So it's like you're a director for hire, and he's a director that wants to make his own thing.
Yeah, he directs but also writes.
Right, like he could probably do like 80% of the movie himself, and then the other 20% is what the blueprint you have to adhere to for the overall story of Marvel. So, what I didn't notice was I don't know if you guys noticed, or the lack thereof there was no scene in this movie of someone attempting to jump over fences.
No, there was no fence jumping.
I mean, you could try to say that Baby was jumping over stuff, doing his like semi parkour.
I mean, he was running over stuff, but it wasn't
like
it
wasn't
it was like, oh, well, you've never seen a shortcut before.
It wasn't blatant. It wasn't blatant like row of fences that he was going to jump over.
That was the one where he's like, hey, I need to find a shortcut. Do you know a shortcut? Like, hey, sir, ma'am, I need a shortcut now, please. I'm on the run. Help.
But yeah, no, like just like this, everything in this movie, the style is just, this movie's just cool. The opening sequence is too good. It's just like, it's not too long, even though you may think like, oh, it's like 10-15 minutes. It's only like a 6-minute scene.
It hooks you in.
It's excellent. You're like, kind of like James Bond films. The first like 10 minutes of a James Bond film is like a big action scene, and it's very, very cool hook. And then after the hook, and then it's like the calm scene that we talked about earlier. That one is starting the story, but then it's like this is how the rest of the movie is going to be, with the one shot with the music and the lyrics in the background while he's going to get coffee for everybody. They kind of do that twice in the movie, and the second time he gets coffee, it's like a more somber song, because at that point he's like, oh, I got to get out of this because the second job went bad, and he's like, no, this is bad. I can't do this anymore. But yeah,
and there's no coffee for Hat because Hat is dead.
Hat died. Hat got.
He got
got
and then got crushed in a car compactor.
Yeah,
that's right.
It's messed up.
Yes.
And then like Kevin Spacey's turn at the end, he's like, "Oh, I'll just let you go."
He's like,
Because
oh,
he was in.
you too.
He's like, I was in love once.
Yeah, no, it was just like, do you really love her? And he's like, that's too bad. Yeah, like, and then he shoots the two cops. He's like, get out of here. Yeah, that was the beginning of all that whole
And
sequence.
then you have like at the end where he's like in court or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
They're kind of going through the whole movie, like
Yep.
like the different perspectives, like. Oh, he tried to save me. Like, you know, he told me not to go into the
the
trying to
teller
warn
at
me,
the
like,
bank.
like I
Yeah.
shouldn't
Like,
have
he
come
told
into
the teller at
work.
the bank
Yeah.
not to go.
Yeah, it's like, hey,
Or the
don't
old
go
lady.
to
Oh,
work.
he
gave me
tossed
my purse.
He
He
tossed
gave me
my
my
purse,
purse.
and he said, "I'm sorry."
He said, "I'm sorry." Yeah, so that would help him commute his sentence.
Yeah.
It's like judge a character, but you still get 25 years.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, you
damn.
get 5
Yeah,
years,
that
but parole at 5.
Yeah, parole after 5. So he has to. That's one of those you have to check in with your parole office every 5. Which
So do you guys think
Well,
he got out at the end, or do you
okay,
think it was like a dream?
That was my next
Because
question.
they kind of made it seem like it started out as a dream
Yeah.
because it was like
Yeah.
in black and white, and then
But then towards the end,
it phased into being in
Color.
color.
like,
So that makes
Like,
you
it
think like,
actually
oh, maybe
happened.
this is year 5 and he got out.
Yeah, because
that's what I think.
Me too.
Yeah,
I
I
had
think
to
so,
look
too.
it up.
Especially if they're planning on making a sequel.
I had to look it up.
No, I had to look
makes
it
sense.
to-
I know
you
You
what
looked up spoilers?
No,
of the
no,
ending?
no. No, this is after I watched. I had to look up like what the context was, or like what the speculation was, and there's no concrete like oh, it's this over this, but it's like there's the part where he puts the postcard on the little screw on the mirror. He closes his eyes, and then it's like then that scene starts where it's
Yeah,
the
it's
black
like
and white. So it's like
Him in the postcard.
like is he like if he's imagining, or if it's like it's just like a time jump, but they don't tell you it's a time jump.
Yep.
Because one of the ways that someone described it was it opens up a dreamlike sequence, so that makes me think it was imaginary.
I mean, it's cool because like it doesn't tell you, and everyone has their own like interpretation of
Yeah,
it. So
right.
like, however you want it to be, like, you know.
I'm sure Edgar Wright knows the actual the actual meaning behind it, and there is a Baby Driver 2 supposedly coming out.
Yeah,
I think I read somewhere that he had finished the script already.
that's exciting.
Yes, he finished it in 2021.
So maybe we'll find out for sure if it was a time jump or not.
But I like those
it's
because like
it's very
it allows
vague.
for like a discussion, being like, was it really
Like
like,
this.
that, or is it imagination, or did it really happen? Like, you know.
Because part of me feels like it was more along the lines of a dream than reality, because Deborah shows up like all dolled up like she was in a previous imagination,
Dream of his.
like, or not a dream, like he was imagining like whatever what it would look like if they just like got together and just like drove off, right? She was like in a very similar like get up with the makeup, the hair, like
I think it was like the
50s.
same in both times that
Yeah.
they reference it. No.
Yeah, like she worked at a diner, and she
Yeah,
kind of
like
had
the-
that vibe.
Yeah, like that original
house.
sequence, and then the sequence at the end were
At the
both
end
like
is-
it gave like 1950s
Yeah.
kind of
With
look,
that black and white.
even though
Especially
this
with
is
the car,
like
yeah.
like modern.
Sure.
Yeah, it's like they somehow must have funneled the money over to her, things like that. So it's like, hey, you can try to do stuff and funnel some cash in some fancy schmancy ways. But hopefully that gets resolved with the sequel, because
He also did give his foster father a bunch of the money.
yeah,
He like
dude,
stuffed all
the
that
dude
money,
knew.
and he's like, I don't want your
Dang,
dirty money.
Yeah.
dirty money.
Imagine being in prison with tinnitus. That's gotta suck. Especially when you have the cell doors opening and closing, just really messing with your ears a bit. And who knows, that gunshot kind of messed him up even further.
And he probably
sure it
didn't.
did a
And if he
little.
was there for the 5 years, he probably didn't have
Music.
any music to listen to. It's kind
Yeah.
of sucks.
That's a
The
rough
ultimate
5 years.
prison. The ultimate
Yeah.
prison.
It's like triple the time span
The
because
time.
they have music around.
But yeah, I liked. I don't know if we touched on it before, but even with his condition, like he was still all about like even creating music, and then how he had all the mixtapes that he would make from the conversations from all the jobs that they would do.
Man, we didn't talk about that. That's
No,
so
he didn't.
cool.
So like
Yeah.
the first one they showed him do was when he recorded what was it? John Berthel asking if he was slow because
Yeah.
he
Yeah.
rarely talks.
And
So
he's
the
slow,
remix is he
and
slow?
Doc says like, return
Is
means
he
he's
slow?
slow. Is he slow?
Which actually kind of ties in perfectly because I forgot somewhere along the lines they create part of like the whole movie soundtrack has those remixes in the movie.
Nice.
Yeah, there's
Like,
a
there is
Baby
a
Driver
mix.
Volume 2, the score for a score. It came out in 2018, and it came out with some extra tracks.
Nice.
Yeah, there is a track as like, is he slow?
Yeah, these are all like he made like
Or
cassette
was he-
recordings.
Yeah,
And
Because that's a moment in the like before the final heist part where he's trying to leave and they John Hamm and Jamie Foxx like kind of
they confront
Yeah,
him about it,
force it.
and then Jamie Foxx is like,
He just wakes up.
and he
"What's
finds,
this case full
he
of
finds,
tapes?"
yeah,
he
what's
finds the
this-
cassette. They throw like are you recording stuff? And then he tells them the truth, but they don't believe it, of course.
Yeah.
And then they break into his apartment. They hurt his adoptive father, and then it's like they play the one tape, and it's like okay, he's telling the truth,
Yeah. He's like, oh,
but they're
we
also
don't
still
miss
being like
this.
rough on him,
But they're being way too rough for no reason. Yeah.
which was it was like a one of those high intense kind of moments of the movie. It's like because then you think like oh, okay they're going to do something regardless of whether he's telling the truth or not.
Correct. Yeah, and then hey, he's in serious trouble. He's got to make sure it's done right.
And then at the end of the day, it's still just recordings that he uses for music.
It's just his cool little mixtapes. But all right, that's with that kind of just put the wheels to the road on it. So in the end, what'd you guys think?
But,
What would you give this as a rating?
Me
Zach
first?
first.
Me first? All right, cool.
Swerve.
Since I
More
kind
car
of
fun.
started this like Edgar Wright train, 9 out of 10.
9 out of
Nice.
10.
9 out
There
of
you
10.
go.
Very, very, very solid. 9 out of 10.
Very cool. And Danny, we'll leave the ratings because to the guys who've never seen it before.
I'm actually gonna give it a 9.5.
Nice.
Wow.
It's probably like in one of my top movies, I think.
Look at that.
It's
Nice.
I really enjoyed this one.
That's the
Yeah,
you
you're
know
welcome.
it's good.
I
Yeah,
feel like The Rock.
understated.
Yeah.
You're welcome.
Would you give
Yeah.
Hot Fuzz again? Like you said, like an 8, right?
Yeah.
I think you said. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm so disappointed.
I like this one better than
He likes
Shaun
it
of the
better
Dead.
than
Oh, yeah, you did?
Hot Fuzz.
Fuzz.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm the
That makes
I'm the
sense.
opposite. Like I really like this movie, but I think it's my third favorite of his.
Yeah.
Oh.
I also agree.
Because to me, Hot Fuzz is
Still, it's gotta be
amazing.
number one.
It's too good. And then Shaun of the Dead, I put like second, just above, a little bit above this one, just because I feel like it had so much in it.
Yeah.
and it was
paved
really
the way-
entertaining.
It paved the way for like a lot of what he does.
Right, and personally, like when I saw it at like one of my friend's house during it was like I think we were in high school still, and it was during like a
Because the movie came
just
out
like a
before.
house party. We
Before,
watched it
yeah.
on like a blanket outside his house with a projector, and like we all had no idea what this movie was gonna be, and it was just
Probably
like
an awesome
yeah,
time.
it was a fantastic time. So it's just like that movie is too good, and then but this movie just like just the style, it's
Yeah.
so cool.
I mean, this one had
It's so cool.
Really,
The,
like, a
the,
lot-
editing,
everything.
the editing, like
Yeah.
what he usually does with his editing was just like once again another level, and
It's very
logistically,
akin to Hot Fuzz.
yeah,
like, in
logistically,
editing.
I don't even want to like know how hard this movie could be to match the timing of all the beats of the songs to
got-
what's going on. In the
I'm sure they
sequences.
have like when they were recording, they have the music playing on speakers.
I think they had that, and also at times people were just like screaming at them like 1, 2, 3 now, 1, 2, 3 now, like they would
or
tell
like
them,
a loud metronome.
shoot now.
almost, probably.
Yeah.
Basically, like a human metronome, or like
To
some
try to
of the
get that
effects
like
that
at
get
least
the
the beat.
actual rhythm going on.
Yeah,
in real life.
and then just in editing, drown it out with the sound effects and music and stuff. So, but I mean, it seems like it would be a fun process, and trying to make a movie like that with the music just syncs up with.
Yeah, it's hard, but it's the payoff is it always works.
Especially when there are different, like when there are cuts and it's.
You gotta
it's
match
not,
the cuts
Yeah, it's
and,
not like
like-
it's not like the first take. It's like second, third, fourth, fifth take, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But of course, the music is going to be nonstop throughout the whole scene, so they have to edit it and cut it precisely to get it to line up.
So remember for a time there were a lot of trailers that were trying to do that, and like it was. Like,
they still do.
Yeah, they
but
do.
I feel like they did it more maybe like 10 years ago, and they
like
did
when
it.
They do the gunshots.
They did it a lot toward like to dubstep music.
Yeah, and
when dubstep
like,
was popular.
It was happening. It was like really hyped up just before Baby Driver came out, and then Baby Driver's like, "This is how you do it as a movie."
This is how
Everybody
the right way
shut
to
up. Yeah, this is the Edgar Wright way to do it. Exactly.
There's only one way.
So
And
to
it's Edgar Wright way.
cap off this episode, I'll kind of echo most of what Anthony said about like how I feel about this movie. Except I would put this movie just slightly above Shaun of the Dead, just because like I don't know, I have a weird thing with zombie movies, but even though Shaun of the Dead is more of like a weird like horror comedy kind of thing, but it's fun how it kind of subverts it a bit. But like this movie, like I've mentioned before, it's just a total refinement of his style. Put in a great kind of action movie. Yeah, I don't want to say action comedy. It's just more
thriller.
like it's not even thriller. It's more just like it's an action
heist,
movie.
action heist.
Yeah, like an action crime heist action movie, and it
Just
is
everything.
It's done so great.
A love
It's
story.
done so well. Yeah, a little bit of a love story, and it's not hokey. It's like just the right amount of corny. There's not too like eye rolling. Yeah, movie's awesome. The movie is 100% great. I always try to find an excuse. Just like what Anthony did, like it's a great excuse to try to go out and watch the movie again. So for those of you listening, we kind of gave a nice outline of the movie, all of the great reasons to watch the movie. Try to have this, and the best sound system that you have, whether if it's like high quality headphones on a decent sized screen, or hopefully you have a home theater. If it ever comes out again as a re-release, then hey, go out to the theater and watch it. But this is a movie that, based off of us, we all highly recommend 100%.
I think he had the idea of this movie after that scene in Shaun of the Dead that he timed the jukebox to hitting the zombie to Queen.
Song.
Yeah. Then don't stop me now. That scene's hilarious.
Right.
I love that scene.
That scene is incredible.
I didn't. Did you give your score?
9.
Yeah, I think I'm a 9 too.
9.
I don't remember what I gave Shaun of the Dead. If I gave Shaun of the Dead 8.5, then I guess I'll give this an 8.5 as well. 8.5 or 9. One of those, depending on what I gave Shaun of the Dead. Yeah.
The answer's a 9. Roll the tape.
9.
No, we'll go to 9. Yeah. Cap it off at a 9. With that, I believe it is now my turn to continue our Watchlist Recommends series. So for this one, I gave it a little bit of thought, and I don't know if it's something that I wanted to keep going with a certain theme, or if I wanted to just start something completely new.
The world's end. No, I'm kidding.
It's not going to be the world's end.
No more.
Not yet.
Not yet. Correct.
We'll get there at some point because I have to watch it.
That's my recommend. No, I'm kidding. It's not my recommendation.
But I was thinking of something more of what I was thinking of, hey, I want to do a cult classic. And it may be something that maybe it's a movie that Anthony hasn't seen in a very long time. And I know
you said cult classic. I thought one movie, but then I'm like, no, it's. Then
what did you think?
I thought The Room.
Definitely not.
Scott Pilgrim. Scott Pilgrim to do Edgar Wright again.
Nope.
That's Edgar wrong.
Nope. Even though, as of this recording, Netflix is going to do an animated series with the whole cast of the movie. That's a whole nother. We can probably do a whole nother episode on that. But this is actually a movie from the 80s. It's. I'm gonna. I think this might give a hint.
Get Zach back into the 80s.
Back into the 80s.
A lot of movies you need to watch.
This is one you haven't
classic.
seen. This is one you haven't seen in a really long time.
Oh, okay, but I have seen it.
It is a John Carpenter movie.
Oh.
What do you think it is?
I know what it is.
What?
A John Carpenter movie?
You don't know what this is. I don't know why you... so...
I know what it is.
What do you think it is?
The same?
Nope.
No?
It's another John Carpenter movie. Oh. You're Danny.
Halloween.
You hear
no, 70s.
So yeah,
you hear Danny typing up on the
The Fog.
It's definitely not The Fog.
Did he do The Fly? No, that's Cronenberg.
No, that was definitely Cronenberg. No, it's basically I don't know how would I consider this. What do I consider this movie?
Escape from New York.
No, it's it is Kurt Russell's in it. That's not that one. Not that one because that was
Big Trouble in Little China.
Bam! There you go.
What movie?
Big Trouble in Little China. This is a movie. This is a movie. When I saw this movie, I thought it was like one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Fun fact: it's also inspiration for some of the stuff you see in Mortal Kombat. So Ed Boon had a lot of inspiration from Big Trouble in Little China, and what's great is that like there's just so much going on, and a lot of it's just like the main character is going around and he has all this fantastical stuff happening to him, and like everybody else considers it as a matter of fact, but he's just like totally confused, but he has to still roll with it anyway. And Kurt Russell's great in it. It has James Hong. We were talking about Everything Everywhere All at Once, so this is kind of like his breakout role. And
really?
Was it?
I don't know. I mean, that was the movie that I would say is like this is that would kind of like I maybe put him on the map, but it's just like
I mean, James Hong has been in
he's been around for a long time.
Yeah, but this was
I'm
around.
sure he's done more like because he's what, Chinese or Hong Kong or something. I'm sure
he's born in Minnesota, dude.
He's Hong Kong.
He's Hong Kong. Come on, dude. No,
Hong Kong Fooey.
He's of Chinese descent, but he was born.
Really?
He was born in Minneapolis, Minnesota.
Oh,
Nice.
man.
Minneapolis.
How old is he?
What is he, a mighty duck?
He is.
He's gonna be like in his
Woo!
70s.
He was born in 1929.
It's like
What?
Josh,
Yeah,
yeah,
dude.
he's old. He's like
He old,
Dude, he's almost 100. What?
Yeah.
and he looks great, and he's doing
I'm
great.
thinking, oh, he's like 60, 70.
Yeah, dude, he's been in so many things.
Pushing 100 now, man.
Balls of Fury.
Balls of Fury, exactly. I thought that should be another too. A movie with Dan Fogler, or is what was the Chinese called? Bing Bang. That movie is so dumb. It's Bing Bang.
Because there's also Kung Fu Panda.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, dude. He's Po's dad. But yeah, like
So Big Trouble in Little China
Big
is.
Trouble in Little China.
So are we?
It's
Are
not
we going
streaming
to talk about it next week?
No,
Okay.
because that's going to be the next episode for our Watch List Recommends. But next week we're going to have a special.
It's like an indie movie, right?
It's a special movie. Woohoo!
A little indie movie coming out.
I think it's about some guy who takes shrooms and has to go like on a brotherly quest to save his brother. And then there's like a big bully who throws barrels at him all the time. Yeah, and they kind of, through the power of friendship, help save the day. Because a weird turtle guy that breathes fire is, kind of causing a bit of a stir.
Sounds like a weird indie movie.
He's he's also one half of a heavy metal band.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's kind of weird. No, we're talking about the Super Mario Brothers movie. So
The good one, probably.
DreamWorks and Illumination. No, we're not talking about the
Hopefully
90s
the
one.
good one.
But hopefully you're gonna get our impressions and reactions to that. All of us have grown up playing Mario games, so we're super excited. We're super excited to see what Illumination does with this. If it's any indication from some of their other animations and from what we've seen currently, it looks great. But let's see how it all comes together in the big screen.
I feel like with Illumination, a lot of their movies, not so great on the story aspect of things, but definitely with the animation, it's always top notch.
Yeah. So
the comedy is also very
they're
good.
definitely family friendly.
Yeah.
So.
Like
Should be good.
Like anything like
With-
you've seen Despicable Me, Minions, like that sort of thing.
Secret Life of Pets.
Secret Life of Pets.
Sing.
I never
Minions.
saw Sing. Minions I saw. Never saw Minions 2. But anyway, we'll be most certainly giving our impressions and our thoughts about Super Mario Brothers. We are really cautiously optimistic about that. But stay tuned till next time. That way we can get to see whether you agree, whether you think, hey, you guys are nerds for watching a kid's Mario movie, or do you think, what the heck is Chris Pratt doing voicing Mario?
Well, nerd me up.
We'll see. With that, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone. Please do us a big solid, and if you're listening to us on your podcast platform of choice or from our webpage, go ahead, give us a like and subscribe us on Twitter and Instagram on Popcorn Watchlist. And that way you can take part in a lot of our community outreaches and giveaways that Danny is so good at putting out. Everything from polls to free posters and exclusives that we don't normally get to kind of share with the rest of the public. Stay tuned for those and give us a like and be able to participate. We get to have some fun together, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in, and we'll catch you next time.
Later, guys.
See ya.
Easy like Sunday morning.
Thank you.